Hello, beautiful people. This is Faisal Insan. I wanted to do a video on your thoughts. This is such an important topic that comes up within my coaching sessions almost every time when I'm talking to high-level investors, entrepreneurs, people who are really at the high level and they're achieving so much. But what you find out is that they have this misconception about their thoughts. And you don't have to be an entrepreneur to relate to this. I mean, whether you're a professional, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're a student, it doesn't matter. As long as you're a human being, this will apply to you. So listen up. I'm going to go into this. So this is what happens. Most of us, so I'll give you a quick example about this. I mean, I had a client recently who was talking about this when he was saying that, well, I asked him a question, well, for you to feel more confident, what beliefs would you have to let go of? And he really thought about it for a few seconds, and he said that I would really have to let go of, putting myself down. I really have to stop thinking myself as not being enough, as not being good enough, as not being somebody who can achieve all the things that I've set my mind on, something like that. I'm not quoting exactly, but something along those lines. So these are the kind of things that I hear, and then we hear this in the personal development realm as self-limiting beliefs, but it goes much deeper than that. So this is why I'm bringing up this topic. Almost all the thoughts that you have in your head and your mind, they're a product of your environment. And we know this how? Because the thoughts that you have, the way that you think, they all come from, most of them, the core ones, they come from your childhood. And the reason for this is there's actually an evolutionary reason, but there's a biological reason that the children have to adapt to new environments, and human beings live in so many different ways and so many different environments. And one of the reasons we have been able to survive and thrive as a species is that we're very adaptable. And one of the ways that we adapt is that our children, when they're growing up in any environment, they basically, and we say this in common terminology too, that they're like sponges. They absorb everything that you give to them. And they take in positive, negative, good thoughts, negative thoughts, good energy, bad energy, good emotions, negative emotions. They've taken all of those things and they make it as a part of them. And up until 7 or 8 years old, they basically become pre-programmed to live and adapt to that environment. Now, here's the problem with this. Wherever you're living, most places they have lost the ability to teach growing children to question those thoughts later on, because up until 7 or 8 years old, it's fine that we're adapting and we're learning, we're taking everything as the ultimate truth within our environment. But what we find out later on is that almost those thoughts that we picked up from our parents, from our teachers, from our peers, from the media, from our culture, not all of them are beneficial, and not all of them applies to you or to me, and not all of them will serve you on your path. So this is why I'm saying that your thoughts are not yours. Your thoughts are a product of your environment. Now, a lot of the positive thoughts that you picked up within that environment, keep those, and if they're serving you, that's great, keep those with you. But let's say you get a thought that I'm not good enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not intelligent enough, or I'm not something else enough, or I can't do this, or this is not possible, that is not possible, I'm not as good looking as somebody else, or I'm not as athletic as somebody else. Like all those kind of thoughts that you get, first of all, know that they are not your thoughts, because as soon as you attach your identity with those thoughts, you become attached to the emotions. And when you become attached to the emotions and identity, you start to think of those thoughts as yours. What they are their thoughts, basically ghosts of your environment are lurking in your brain. And as an adult, you're beginning to question those thoughts. And as you're questioning those thoughts, you have to really ask yourself, Are those thoughts, first of all, beneficial to you? Are they serving you on your path to creating a better life, to creating a better business, to creating a better quality of life, of connection, of fulfillment, of a purposeful life? Are they serving you on that path? And if they are, keep them. If they're not, this is something you can try. A lot of times the misconception in personal development is that you can, if you get a negative thought, you force it with positive thought and you will get rid of it. It doesn't work like that. A lot of times, then you've probably tried that, where you get a negative thought and emotion, and all of a sudden you're like, no, I am good enough. I am intelligent. I am strong. The reason that doesn't work is that that energy, that thought that just came in with the emotion, and with human beings, we tend to have thoughts with emotions. You didn't deal with that. You didn't integrate that. You didn't accept it as it was. You just moved on to the next one and ignored and suppressed the last thought. And that thought has to go somewhere. The emotions along with it has to go somewhere. So what I suggest you do, I want you to just picture yourself standing somewhere, and there's a storm coming towards you. And those storms are any fears you have, any negative thoughts, any negative emotions coming your way. But know in your heart that none of those thoughts, emotions are yours. They're just, not only they're not yours, that storm that's coming your way, it's not real. Think of it as a holographic projection. Think of it as a projection of your mind, as if you were watching a scary movie. But you know deep down that it's just a scary movie. So your body will react. You will get that fight or flight mechanism. Your muscles will get engaged. Your heart rate might go up. But I want you to just focus on your breathing and allow that thought and emotion to pass through you. No matter how scary the thought is, whether that's related to I'm not going to be successful, or I'm going to screw this up, or I'm going to crash and burn, or I'm going to lose my relationship, whatever the fearful thought is, and the emotions that come with it. Just stand your ground, focus on your breathing, and pay attention to your body. And as the thought moves forward and your consciousness changes, then I want you to focus on, is this really my thought? Are these really my thoughts and emotions? Are they serving me? And if the answer is no to that, then replace it with something positive. But remember, you have to allow it to pass through you. You have to breathe to it. You have to allow the emotion to pass through you. If you try to suppress it, shove it aside, or do something like that with it, it's going to come back out stronger and stronger and stronger. And guess what? What ends up happening is a lot of people start the cycle of arguing in their head with their thoughts. In essence, they're arguing with ghosts in their head. And that doesn't take you anywhere. That takes you back to where you were in a much worse state. And let me give you if you watch somebody in a subway talking to themselves, or in a bus, or outside waiting in a line, they're talking to themselves, would you move closer to that person or farther away? That's something you can answer for yourself, but we do that in our head and we think that's normal. The reason we do that in our head is because we don't have the tools, so we automatically go towards arguing with ourselves in our head, instead of just allowing the thought to pass through, observing it, and move on with something positive, focusing on what's good in your life, what you can do versus what you can't do. So all those thoughts that are coming your way, remember that those are a product of your environment from your childhood. Not all the thoughts that you learned, all the emotions that you gained, all the experiences that you gain are positive. There are ones that are very negative. And if they're not serving you, get in the habit of dealing with them in this way, or any better way that you can come up with. So observe your thoughts and observe your emotions. Allow the storm to pass through you. Stand your ground and move on to something positive. Don't just shove aside the emotion and thought and try to move on. Give it a try and let me know how it works out. And if you have any thoughts, any questions, anything you wanted to share about your experience with this, please let me know. I hope this serves you. And if you wanted me to talk about something specific, please let me know. And until my next video, I hope you have an awesome night. Bye.